Before we jump into today's video, I have 3 questions for you guys, and I would love if you could put your responses in the comments below. So firstly, when did you start watching the WNBA? Secondly, why did you start watching the WNBA? Was there a certain player or team that got you interested? And thirdly, if there was only one team that you could watch for the rest of the season, what team would that be? What's up, you guys? I'm Rachel DeMita and welcome to the Courtside Club. Today's video will probably end up being another rant/ramble video. I hope you guys don't mind, but the news was just announced that WNBA TV ratings are down more than 50% since Caitlin Clark's injury. And it was also reported that the Indiana Fever television viewership is also down over 53%. Now, I know a lot of us were expecting some sort of dip since Caitlin Clark has been out with injury, but I don't think all of us we're expecting the entire viewership of the entire WNBA to be down. And this tweet from Christine Brennan really stuck out to me. She said, one player gets injured and more than half the TV audience for the entire league disappears. Has any other athlete ever had that kind of impact on a sport? Golf without Tiger definitely dropped precipitously on occasion, but not like this. A truly remarkable sports story continues. Now, we've gone over the Caitlin Clark effect, and I've also been one who has compared Caitlin to the likes of Tiger Woods just purely on her impact that she's had on the WNBA. But this news is alarming for the league, and it's alarming for the league because this is such a crucial year for the WNBA. At the end of this season, the WNBA will go into CBA negotiations. If negotiations go well, then every single player in the WNBA has a much better chance of making so much more in their next contract. And if you guys were watching my videos during the off season, I was so much more optimistic going into this year because we had so much drama and the media, I felt like, mishandled so many things with the WNBA last season, and specifically with Caitlin Clark and her fan base. And that's one thing when you start thinking about how many people stopped watching when Caitlin Clark got injured. A lot of people stopped watching because they are boycotting the WNBA. They don't want to give viewership to any other teams or any other players, whether they like other players on the team or not, because of how the media and the league itself has handled Caitlin Clark and how they have treated her fans. Caitlin Clark and Indiana Fever fans have been called every single name under the sun. They have been called out by players in the WNBA. The media has, I mean, you've seen it. We've talked about it here. You can't miss it on social media every single day. There is some media personality saying something bad about Caitlin Clark's fans, calling the fans names, saying that they are not there for basketball. They're just following Caitlin because she's white, or they're trying to push a certain agenda. Like, the narrative surrounding the biggest fan base to ever come to the WNBA have been actually insane. And then it goes as far as to the first game of the season, which was at Indiana against the Chicago Sky. Right after that game, they opened an investigation once again into the fans, where they found nothing, but the damage had already been done at that point. If some of these things happen just one time here and there, or there's one certain media personality who's just always saying these kind of things, then whatever. I feel like fans as a whole can be like, okay, whatever, this person is just a hater. But this is something that has happened over and over and over again. And over time, it starts chipping away at how much you're going to actually care and want to support an organization if they continue to do things like this. And that is why I've also just been preaching, like, the WNBA needs to focus on the things that really matter. The things that really matter are marketing the league property, marketing the players property, marketing their star players properly, especially Caitlin Clark, with the millions and millions of people that she has brought into the WNBA. And they also need to take care of the product on the court, because I'm sorry, whether you believe it or not, the majority of fans are here to watch good basketball. They are not watching the WNBA for any other reason other than they like the style of basketball that Caitlin Clark plays, and they like the style of basketball that the Indiana Fever were playing when they were playing a really fast-paced style of basketball and shooting a lot of threes. And I've been trying so hard with all of my content. Like, I want more than anything to just make positive content, to talk about a lot of different players, to talk about a lot of different teams. But at the end of the day, Courtside Club is also a business for me. I'm only one person in front of the camera. I only have a limited amount of time every single week to film these videos for you guys. And I don't want to have to talk about negative things that keep popping up or talking about certain scenarios, but I get so frustrated as to why the media and the WNBA just mismanaged the situation the way that they did. Because I do actually think, if just think in an alternate world, if last season all these new fans that came in, just think if they were welcomed into the league, if there wasn't people online, if there wasn't media personalities saying that Caitlin Clark fans are ruining the league, this was so much better without them. Like, think if that stuff wasn't happening. Think if the WNBA did a better job and put more resources into getting better referees and tightening up on the rules. Think if the WNBA put more resources into marketing players properly and not trying to put one player down in order to lift up other players. Like, if all of those things, if they were running like a business should be ran, just think of how much differently so many of these new fans who suck, how they would have felt about the WNBA. And like I said, a lot of these new fans not only love players now on the Indiana Fever, but they also love players on every single other team. But you also can't force fans to watch a style of basketball or a person that they don't particularly like their style of play. We can even compare it to the NBA now. We have the Indiana Pacers and the Oklahoma City Thunder in the NBA Finals. And if you guys have been watching those games, it is some of the best basketball that we have seen in the NBA in years. It is great games. Honestly, these entire playoffs have been so good. It's close games. Both teams are playing defense. Both teams are shooting well from the outside. It's fast paced. There's young players. Yet the NBA ratings this year in the NBA Finals are down significantly. And that's the same thing with the New York Liberty. The New York Liberty is playing the best style of basketball. They are playing the best basketball currently in the WNBA. And when they just had a nationally televised game on ESPN against the Chicago Sky, again, against Angel Reese, who was one of the biggest names in the WNBA, they had around 600,000 viewers, which is so low. You cannot make fans watch what they don't want to watch. But all we heard last year is if the fans were only watching the Indiana Fever, only watching games Caitlin Clark was playing in, then they weren't real fans and they didn't like basketball. And you just had so much media and WNBA personalities and even players just shunning the new fans. And the more and more that you hear of that, the more and more you're like, well, why would I want to watch you? Like, I'm going to only watch what I want to watch, and I'm kind of turned off to the fact of watching anything else because you guys are telling me what a bad person I am because I don't want to tune into this certain team or this certain player, or heaven forbid, I have a favorite player. I unfortunately feel like it's been a little bit of a domino effect from the things that we heard from the media last season and even pouring into this season, things that we've heard from different GMs and different players and how they've kind of reacted to some of the new fans and have kind of like pushed them away. And I hope that things will get better in the second half of the season, but it's definitely not a sustainable model to have the entire league hinging on one player. And it's also like Caitlin doesn't need that kind of pressure that she has to play every single game, whether she's hurt, whether she's not. But I actually think that the league would have been set up a little bit better going into this season if a lot of those things were different last year. I feel like if the fans felt like they were welcomed, they would have been watching a lot more games and a lot more players. And even Paige Beckers is somebody who had a breakout game last night. She scored 35 points. She looked more like Paige. She almost looked like freshman at UConn Paige, and it was so cool to see her kind of break out of her shell and take over and be so aggressive on the court. But even with that, the media that you were getting when people were propping up Paige, they were trying to put down Caitlin in order to prop up Paige, and it's just creating this weird disparity. And I don't mind comparing players. Like, I would honestly much rather people compare Paige and Caitlin than Caitlin and Angel. Like, the Paige and Caitlin comparisons are much better if you want to stick to basketball, but so much of it turns into something that's not. And it just sucks that we're still kind of living in this messy space. And unfortunately, you're seeing that in the viewership, in the numbers, and that's hurting the business of the WNBA. And so I don't even know if this video made sense, but I kind of just wanted to talk through my feelings and like how I'm feeling right now. Maybe I'm just being overly sensitive, but when I saw those numbers, I was like, dang, that sucks, because there was so much hype coming into this season. And a lot of people, you know, there still is more hype. Like, people are still more excited, but it just makes me think like woulda, coulda, shoulda. It makes me think of the what ifs. Like, could we be in a better position this season if the media and the league just handled things better, just did a better job? Like, could more people be interested in other teams and other players than they are now if things wouldn't have been so poorly managed? But with that, last little update for you guys. Caitlin Clark and Sophie Cunningham were in practice today, and it seems like they are continuing to ramp up. There was an interview with Sophie Cunningham. She said that she feels like she is ready, but she is still waiting for medical clearance to be able to play in the game on Saturday versus the New York Liberty. And also, Aari McDonald is still practicing with the Fever. Now, just a reminder, you guys, Aari McDonald cannot be a part of that Fever team if Caitlin and or Sophie comes back. They will have to cut her. She's still at practice, so it seems like to me they probably both will not be playing once again on Saturday. That was my prediction before. I thought that both of them might be coming back on Tuesday, but we still don't know. That's just pretty much the update there. And I think that's enough of a ramble for today. Of course, you guys let me know all of your thoughts in the comments below. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and click that little subscribe button because we upload new videos every single week. And with that, you guys, I'll see you next time. Ooh,